It seems like he can hear the siren.
Oh, I would, but I'd be suffering trying to float the
Because they're talking. But he's not chained up. And he's still like 100%, even though the siren looks like his wife and is like, I will get rid of your suffering. Please come to me. Come in the water. Come kiss me. He's still just not falling for it. I don't get it. Like, that's what confused me about it being a siren was like, oh shoot, is he gonna fall for the siren in this version?
The only way I feel like you can explain that is that he's so like gone from who he is that he just looks at them as like prey, as like something he needs to like kill or attack or whatever. And so that makes their magic like not work on him somehow. Because that's the only thing I can come up with of why that happened that way, why he was able to hear them and not be affected by anything they were doing at all.
Well, I do think Jorge wants us to think the answer is, well, he gave them those two tests and they didn't fall for the tests. But the siren, like, I'm sorry, but those two tests wouldn't have been enough for most people. Like, they wouldn't have kept coming back.
The whole thing of like what the sirens like, personify or whatever in like the myths is like hope, is like that hope, that like the thing that you want, that you really want deep down inside, where you're not even aware sometimes what it is exactly that you want, but you just want it. Like that sort of like hope that you can get that thing, that like never completely disappears for people. That's just like something that is like always there. And so that's what the sirens are supposed to be. And so the idea that like Odysseus could like test them and like be very like logical minded, like unemotional, like just pure logic about it, and just be able to like out logic them just like doesn't make sense. Because it's like, what about, like, you always have that hope that really is your wife, or that they know another way to get home where you can get home faster, or just the things that anybody would want. And so the only way I could ever explain why none of that stuff matters to him anymore is that he's so like disconnected from his actual self that he just like is able to like just not care enough where it doesn't affect him anymore. Because otherwise it really doesn't make any sense. If Annabeth and Percy Jackson could like have all of that, what she did, happen, and not like stop herself, like she is also a very logically minded person, and none of that mattered though, because she's still a person, and she was still a good person, and wanted the fantasy of imagining like her parents and Luke and her being a family, even though rationally she knew that that was like never going to happen. It doesn't matter. Like those sort of thoughts or like beliefs or like just wanting that like supersedes all of that.
Not have to stop and talk to them. I will say he is doing so out of desperation in this version because he was given no help by Tiresias. But at the same time, like he could have figured out another way through, I guess.
Like if you're a good person and you try to help people, not because you're going to get something out of it, but because it's just what you want to do, you want to treat everybody nicely, then when you're in a bad situation, people will pop up to try to help you because you're a nice person, and people want to help you when you're a good person. And so like that's why like in Titan's Curse, Percy has his little like emotional support animal that is a reptile cow that literally is like his nicest best friend in that book, the only person that is nice to him, honestly, that entire book, who just like follows him around that book and is like anxious every time he's in danger and is like, are you okay? Are you all right? And he like doesn't even know that this thing is like this super powerful thing that could kill the gods. He doesn't care. It's just like a magical thing that he saved, and he's treating it the way that he would treat anything. He doesn't know that it's like this all powerful thing that the gods are all searching for. He just thinks that it's a nice like cow that just wants to help him out because he helped them. And so it's like that sort of an idea that like if Odysseus didn't treat like the monsters and things like that in this story as like lower than him, then some of those beings would help you. They would help you get around Poseidon, but they're not going to help you because you keep trying to kill them. And so they're not, like, when people are afraid of you, they don't want to help you because you're terrifying.
Times to take Poseidon's ruthlessness is mercy upon yourself advice in the weirdest way. Like, you could have picked any other time, bro.